Welcome to a special spine-tingling episode from the Chronus Book of Days. As we creep ever closer into the enchanted realm of Halloween, the air is thick with anticipation, for it is a time when the veil between worlds becomes as delicate as spider's silk and whispers from the spirit realm grow more distinct. This week I am digging deep into the world of numerical synchronicities, where the profound power of the number 10 takes center stage. There is also the magic and mystery of a full blood moon that in a twist of timely fate is also a bewitching partial lunar eclipse. Hello, if you are new here, I am MetaStar Messenger, creator and host of the Chronus Book of Days, a unique, only-of-its-kind weekly tarot calendar system retrieved from the Akashic Records. I am so glad you found your way here. So, my pretties, lovers of the tarot and ye seekers of things mystical, grab your broomsticks, prepare your crystal balls, and join me as I read this first Halloween-themed chapter from the Chronus Book of Days. Let's begin. Week 43, which can begin as early as October 19th, or as late as October 24th depending on the year, is always represented by the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Four of Pentacles. Week 43 begins the countdown to the new year, with only 10 weeks remaining in the current year. Countdowns in and of themselves carry a sense of excitement and anticipation as they always herald either the arrival of a thing, or the conclusion of a thing. Interestingly, this countdown archetype finds itself intertwined with the visions of the prophet Ezekiel, who, in his mystical experiences, delved into the depths of the wheel, with its perpetual turning and transformative nature, including the famous vision of the wheel within wheels described in the book bearing his name in the Bible. Most people familiar with the tarot commonly associate the symbolism of the Wheel of Fortune with the Book of Ezekiel, as they should, due to its resemblance to the four living creatures having the faces of a man, bull, an eagle, and a lion, as described in the prophet's vision. As a learned astrologer, I understand these four living creatures to represent the four fixed signs of the zodiac: Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. As a learned astrologer, I also understand Ezekiel's vision of the wheel within wheels as covert astrological speak. Without going too far into the esoteric, the mention of a wheel in the middle of a wheel very well could allude to the intricate interplay of celestial cycles, namely the concept of the Great Year, better known as the 20-year conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, that has long been associated with the rise of kings and dynasties, as well as signifying transformative periods and even the dawn of new ages throughout history. Watching celestial movements such as eclipses and other important events in context of the Great Year is a sophisticated astrological technique that would have been well within the grasp of a visionary like Ezekiel in his time. In my mind, Ezekiel would have drawn inspiration from the cosmic choreography of celestial synchronicities, seeing them as signs and markers of the great turning of the cosmic wheel, which he then translated into spiritual and prophetic messages for his people. Sound familiar? Well, continue watching and in a few moments, I will reveal a current cosmic example of a wheel within wheels just as described in Ezekiel's vision. Turning our attention back to week 43, when the Wheel of Fortune arrives reversed, it suggests a regrettable lack of awareness regarding the grand cycles and natural rhythms that govern existence. It also implies a sorrowful acceptance of the misguided modern notion that life unfolds randomly and haplessly through time, without any discernible rhyme or reason. Such sentiments are nothing new and can be triggered by recent events or tragedies that leave individuals feeling spiritually adrift or disillusioned. On a broader scale, pervasive global dysfunction may extend these feelings of hopelessness across generations. Within the context of a chariot year, the Wheel of Fortune reversed may suggest a period of stagnation, a moral wrong turn, or lack of progress despite all best efforts to move forward or stay on track. Many may be feeling frustrated or discouraged, as plans and goals seem stalled or thwarted by either sheer bad luck, a turn for the worse perhaps financially, or by some other unexpected negative twist of fate. I absolutely understand these feelings, as it was week 10 of this year when the Wheel of Fortune hosted the week upright that my partner of 35 years and father of my children finally got his diagnosis of ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease after a year of increasing debility to his extremities and no definitive answers as to the cause. The combination of the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune can indicate obstacles or challenges that are beyond your control, or feeling as though you are at the mercy of outside forces, and that your ability to steer your life in the direction you desire is limited, possibly due to a terminal disease, or illness, war, political conflict, severe weather events or another catastrophe. The Wheel of Fortune reversed or upright always implies change, usually a change to our current fortunes. It reminds us that because change is inevitable that we should soon expect things to shift in unexpected ways. For some this may augur a fall from grace. Because the Wheel of Fortune reversed has the Four of Pentacles, the card of miserly tendencies, as its week 43 satellite companion, we may expect a sudden or drastic change to our financial or material situation. Certainly that continues to be my situation. You could be guilty of holding on to your possessions or resources tightly out of fear of losing what you have. You might find yourself tightening the purse strings or withholding funds in a move that seems random or out of the blue with the intention of asserting your authority or control over another individual, perhaps an adult child or spouse. Keep in mind under current eclipse tendencies and within a chariot year this action could lead to an all-out bloody war. Whatever the situation may be, the combination of fortune reversed and the Four of Pentacles suggests that you may need to be more open to changing circumstances and flexible in your approach to your finances so to maintain the reins of stability and control. It may also be helpful to let go of any fears or unhealthy attachments to material possessions with a focus on developing a mindset of gratitude and contentment. From the imagery of the figure in the Four of Pentacles, often depicted with an unusual arm gesture that forms a subtle figure-8 shape, connecting the head to the heart and the heart to the coveted golden coin, we can draw a symbolic narrative of someone who possesses secret or valuable knowledge and is reluctant to share it with the wider population whom they perceive as beneath them, inferior or less enlightened. The figure's closed posture, with arms forming a figure-8 around the coin, suggests a guarded nature, as if protecting a hidden truth. This figure may believe that the knowledge they possess grants them a position of superiority or some other advantage, perhaps monetary, and they are unwilling to let others in on their insights. This imagery can serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of hoarding knowledge or power and the potential for isolation and stagnation that can result from withholding wisdom from others. Overall, the figure-8 arm gesture in the Four of Pentacles encourages reflection on one's relationship with not only material possessions but also knowledge, along with the need for balance, and the potential consequences of clinging too tightly to worldly goods. Greed and the inclination to hoard wealth can often set the stage for an unfortunate twist of fate and can even disrupt a run of good fortune. When one's focus becomes solely fixated on accumulating more, it can lead to a neglect of other essential aspects of life, potentially tipping the balance and inviting unexpected, even life-changing challenges. By the way, if you are enjoying the video or find the information here of value, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share, and please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, before moving on, please indulge me in one additional thought that will, I promise, bring this discussion full circle and us closer to that wheel within wheels revelation that I teased earlier in this video. Fortune is a compelling one-word anagram composed of the numerical values of two words, 4 and 10. This intriguing synchronicity becomes all the more fascinating when we consider the tarot calendar and week 43 assignments, where fortune corresponds to the 10th card in the tarot and its satellite companion is the Four of Pentacles. Drawing inspiration from this hidden pearl of synchronicity, I cast the full moon eclipse chart with 410, or fortune, in mind. Notably, the event of the full-blood moon partial lunar eclipse takes place in the 10th month of October, associated with the numerical value and 10th card in the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune. Additionally, the eclipse falls within week 43, the 10th week before the end of the year, connected to the reversed Wheel of Fortune. The eclipse itself occurs on Saturday, October 28th, a date that numerically reduces to 10. To complete the 410 motif, I timed the chart for precisely 4:10 p.m. East Coast time United States, which is 14, for plus 10 minutes earlier than the exact time of eclipse, yet still aligns the moon with its eclipsing degree of Taurus in addition to moving the lunar event into the 10th planetary hour from sunrise. With that, the fortune of a 410 activation is satisfied and complete. And, if by cosmic design, Mercury, the cosmic riddler and spirit of puzzles, from 10 degrees of cryptic Scorpio, winks knowingly at this clever cosmic web of numerology and symbolism, truly thrilling. The significance of the 410 activation code is found in the symbolism of first the number 4 representing a foundation, the stable corners of physical reality where growth and manifestation occur, combined with the number 10 representing the completion of a cycle and the initiation of a new one, much like crossing a finish line. This cyclical nature mirrors our existence, where every achievement forms the foundation for the next endeavor or fool's journey. The full moon eclipse 410 activation is a reminder that life is an ever-turning wheel of growth, completion, and renewal, encouraging us to embrace change, learn from each chapter, and eagerly anticipate the new beginnings that follow the completion of every cycle. Jupiter and Saturn are visible superior planets. The recognition of Jupiter and Saturn as significant celestial timekeepers can be traced back to ancient Babylonian astronomy, or at least to the 7th century BCE, if not earlier. What I'm talking about is a system of documented astronomy and a model for prediction that has existed for well over 2,700 years. Now, stay with me here. Jupiter and Saturn conjunct every 20 years. These great conjunctions take place in signs of the same element, fire, earth, air, or water, for periods of 240 years. After 960 years, 240 years each x 4 elements equals 960, the cycle repeats. These meetings between Jupiter and Saturn were seen as significant for matters of faith, empires, and changes in leadership. The more frequent of these conjunctions occurring every 20 years foretold the rise and succession of individual rulers, and the situations that might cause this such as wars and rebellion. Just hours after the winter solstice of 2020, Jupiter and Saturn met in conjunction. This 20-year event is always notable for reasons just mentioned, but this one was exceptional and rare because it occurred with the solstice, an event that is both sacred and revered around the world, and marked the nearly 1,000-year return of the grand conjunction in the air element. Making it even more exciting, it happened in the celebrated and much anticipated sign of Aquarius, signifying a potentially transformative moment for all the world. Even more well-timed, this event occurred 27 months before Pluto, the great force of transformation, was set to make its return, after 248 long years, to the new age of Aquarius. So then, as promised, what you are looking at is a tri-wheel or a horoscopic wheel within wheels. The Magi, most known as the wise men who followed the Christmas star which led them to the newborn king, are the astrologers who identified the Saros cycles of the new moons, the full moons, and eclipses. In addition to the positions of the sun and moon, also key to their observations were the changing of seasons known as solstice and equinox points, as well as the position of the eastern horizon or ascendant. In mundane prediction, these are still considered the 3 most critical factors in judging horoscopes, and that is what you are looking at here, a wheel within wheels. The innermost wheel is that of the 2020 Jupiter-Saturn Grand Conjunction. The middle wheel is that of the 2023 vernal equinox, also known as solar new year or when the sun enters Aries, which creates a framework for the year ahead, current judgment and prediction. The outer wheel is that of the October 28th, pre-Hallows Eve, full-blood moon partial lunar eclipse charted for 4:10 p.m. East Coast time United States. I understand there is some extreme complexity here for the novice or layman, but essentially what I am showing you is an up-to-the-minute triggering of Jupiter-Saturn Grand Conjunction potentials, or you might say, the awakening of a sleeping giant. In short, the activation of potentials associated with the 9th house Jupiter-Saturn Grand Conjunction holds immense relevance, particularly concerning matters pertaining to the Church including the major organized world religions, as well as constitutional law and international treaties. Additionally, it extends its influence to the realms of justice, expanded knowledge, visionary insights, prophecies, and the creation of significant literary works and art. At this point, I should probably mention that on Monday, October 23rd, there is a significant shift as the solar path enters the midpoint of autumn. This transition bids adieu to the harmonious and balanced energies of Libra and welcomes the intense, emotion-laden, and dark magic underground of Scorpio. If you've been getting the distinct feeling of a 5-continent wag-the-dog global freak-out, it is not your imagination, believe me, the powers that be know, and they are. With that in mind, let's shift our focus to the current blood moon eclipse triggering of the Great Conjunction. The Great Conjunction is governed by the modern ruler, Uranus, which takes center stage on the eastern horizon, also known as the ascendant, serving as the gateway to the Aquarian age, as promised by the great chronocrators or time lords, Jupiter and Saturn. Uranus, the force of awakening which often amounts to some form of disruption, positioned at 6 degrees and 58 minutes in Taurus, signifies a gradual progression toward a more advanced and evolved generation in basically anything with ology on the end of it, including astrology. It's important to note that Venus, as the natural ruler of Taurus, holds superiority over Uranus for forms. During the vernal equinox of March 2023, Venus, represented here as riding the north node at 4 degrees and 48 minutes, acts as a catalyst, prodding the dormant New Age potentials of Uranus into manifestation. Enter the full moon in Taurus, where the moon, exalted in this sign, exerts its natural influence and bestows its abundant blessings upon this perpetual springtime, earthly domain. The eclipse occurring in Taurus on October 28, precisely positioned at the zodiacal midpoint between Uranus and the Grand Conjunction Ascendant, and the equinoxial alignment of Venus with the North Node, would have been regarded by ancient observers as an omen, a magnificent sign, and even the arrival of a long-awaited miracle designed for a weary world. Overall, Taurus, symbolized by the bull as seen in the famous Wall Street sculpture, signifies a slow but urgent transformation in our perspectives regarding wealth, our individual value as humans, and all material aspects of life as a whole. This collective revaluation brings forth a renewed emphasis, not on ideas like greed is good, or go big or go home, but on appreciating the common good and embracing an earth-centered, simpler, more minimalist, waste not want not approach to life and its pleasures. Here's the deal, it's a common trend in the world of astrology and social media for enthusiasts to generate excitement around rare and special celestial events as they draw near. It's a whole lot harder to maintain the patience and diligence required to carefully document and observe these celestial jewels over longer stretches of time, where in fact, the true insights and significance often dwell. It's equally common for some to embellish these events with superstitious and sensationalized narratives, only to swiftly discard them once the event concludes, moving on to the next cosmic headline. It's worth noting that throughout history, certain individuals have skillfully crafted and manipulated cosmic conditions, leveraging events like eclipses, comets, or full moons of tinted color to shape narratives that present their actions as divinely ordained or sanctioned by the same hand that guides the cosmos. Astrologers, genuine and well-meaning alike, often play right into the hands of those who may, much like is done with prophetic scripture, sensationalize such events to their advantage, thus fostering the need for coded and allegorical language used by the prophet Ezekiel, the Magi, and others. For the sake of brevity, the Chronus Book of Days and the mysterious book that plays a pivotal role in the Book of Revelations are one and the same, akin to Bernini's unfinished work, Truth Unveiled by Time, essentially long-lost siblings reunited, reimagined for a modern world, and finally brought to light. This significant work remained concealed, obscured by untold individual suffering and numerous obstacles that worked relentlessly to hinder its fulfillment, as it held within its pages a lost pictorial ledger coveted by kings, empires, holy institutions, and other patriarchal societies. Despite these challenges, she persisted. The Book of Days has now emerged to be free and available to the world, unsealed by the least likely of messengers, an unwitting glitch in the matrix whom destiny called and suffered, to usher in a new age of tarot knowledge. As I lift the veil on this hidden and profound truth, the date is Wednesday, October 18, 2023, exactly 1031 days, numerical Halloween, since the Jupiter-Saturn Grand Conjunction in empty zero tarot full degrees of Aquarius on December 21, 2020. It has been said, sometimes the greatest wisdom emerges from the most unexpected sources. For those with eyes to see, the ears to listen, it is written in the stars, plainly visible in the enigmatic wheel within wheels, but also, in the Chronus Book of Days. In Chapter 43, I introduced the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Four of Pentacles. This week marks a countdown to the new year, with only 10 weeks remaining in the current year. Week 43 always signifies anticipation and profound change. I discussed how the Wheel of Fortune is linked to the planet Jupiter and represents concepts like destiny fulfillment and the closure of significant life chapters. I demonstrated how this connects to the biblical prophet Ezekiel's visions, which resemble the tarot card's traditional symbolism. I tied Ezekiel's vision of wheels within wheels to the 20-year Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which has historically been associated with significant events. We also looked at the reversed Wheel of Fortune and how it can symbolize a lack of awareness or feelings of hopelessness. This year, it personally resonated with me due to a significant and life-altering diagnosis in my life. The Four of Pentacles, with its subtle figure-8 gesture, is a reminder warning against hoarding knowledge or power, as it can lead to isolation and stagnation and greed, which can disrupt the flow of good fortune. I introduced an interesting numerical connection between fortune and the numbers 4 and 10. Lastly, I delved into the significance of Jupiter and Saturn as celestial timekeepers, tracing their importance back to ancient times. This rare conjunction in Aquarius in 2020 was noteworthy, and I have presented a complex trivial chart illustrating its ongoing impact. The star, which regular viewers of the Chronus Book of Days may recall, casts its light over the month of October by numerical chance, for the first time since 2014. This signifies that October 2023 holds unique, if not supernatural, possibilities. The presence of a full-blood moon partial eclipse, awakening dormant New Age potentials, may just be the long-awaited omen that our weary world has been anticipating. In summary, I am MetaStar Messenger, creator and host of the enigmatic Chronus Book of Days, a lost tarot calendar system, recovered, reborn, returned to awaiting New Age. For this you are welcome. Until next time. Always love.